welcome to Bits and Bolts. So again, this is the bi-weekly, although in the dates we'll see something interesting in a little bit. But bi-weekly meeting, of course, you have Stuart Clark, the African Territory Manager, and you have me, Armaan Sami, DACH and Netherlands Territory Account Manager. We'll be talking about some of the different features and functions that we think are interesting. But before we do, just to cover the some upcoming dates, we do have new dates for July, and these dates I think you should have already been updated, so you will get notifications before you log in. But we do request, and we're looking for a better solution and way to handle this that you keep a track of and don't lose your GoToWebinar meeting links, because unfortunately we can't send you a calendar invite that includes it. But hopefully come August, we'll have a better solution for all you attending. But yeah, with that, we hope to see you in the next ones. And especially in July, we've got quite a few meetings there. So I hope not all of you are on leave or on holiday. But with that, we're going to talk about a couple interesting things that to me and Stuart are, one of them is made new. That's why the topic of versions in our App Store doesn't yet have a knowledge base, but I'll leave that for Stuart. I will cover how to manage devices with tags. For me personally, I think tags are a very interesting function, and I'll make this a little bit bigger just so we can all see it. And I'm sure everyone's seen it. You've definitely heard about it. If you've done demos for your clients, you've probably seen this as well. But it's this little option here on the top left side of the screen. It says tags. It's pretty straightforward. And sadly, I don't think it's utilized enough. What really excites me about tags are, for starters, we have a lot of system generated tags which are automatically used. So what do I mean by that? For instance, if I come here to a CT60 device or a Lenovo device, these are not devices, or these are not tags that I created myself and put the devices in them. These are tags that as a device gets enrolled, based off of the platform and model, is automatically assigned to a device. Now this is very powerful because as far as automation is concerned, as far as, okay, when this device gets enrolled into the MDM, I need a particular profile, a particular maybe OEM config with the specific configuration, or I need a specific 42 gears plugin to be applied. We can automate this entire process by using tags. So just like in groups where we have properties, we also have, so if you see here, kind of the similar color structure, this teal greenish color, that means there's no property applied. And in this darker blue, kind of like ocean blue color, I do have properties. So if I come up here and I click on properties, I see that I have a Zebra permission script, which will grant, and here in this case, grant all the different permissions for my Zebra managed device. Just like any other property, we can come in here, you can add it, you can set different applications. In this case here is a Zebra OEM agent, so this is a plugin, and I can select it. And now any device that gets enrolled into the MDM system will automatically have this run script and this specific plugin applied to it. This means it's a automated approach, or another way to handle enrolling devices straight into a staging folder with subcategories. It's a good way for you to be able to, sorry, hope you all can still hear me. A good way for quickly automating, keeping one maybe default profile that works on all devices, but then specifically targeting a particular subset of devices based on the model number or other variables that they might have. What's always interesting too is a device can have more than one tag. So here, for instance, I'm just looking at one particular version, the TC77. However, it could also be very specific as far as in the case of Windows devices, and you can always make your own and add for certain like test folders, different subgroups for things. These are my IoT devices. So there's many, many ways that you can further fine tune and organize your different devices throughout the system. One thing that unfortunately I don't have it working to show you all on my test console, But what's very interesting is this is also where you'll be able to, with the icon up here, and if I come here, sorry, I'll keep getting some pop-ups. This is also where you'll be able to manage firmware updates. So if I come here, sorry, but yeah, if I was able to right click or come up here, you would then pull for me and show me what firmware updates, in Zebra's case through Lifeguard, Windows devices, all the different types of Windows licenses are also available. So there's a lot you can do in tags, very creative ways to use it, but my personal favorite, especially in a deployment where you have multiple different types of devices, is using it to automate specific configurations to a specific subset or to a specific type of device, while still keeping one default profile or one default configuration for everything. Of course, also if there's an update or a particular, let's say, kind of a new version of a plugin or a new configuration that needs to get pushed only to a specific type of device, this is probably the best way to see all those devices, select them all, and apply it. You don't need to go through your device list or filters, just use tags. Great. That is the basic kind of overview of tags. If you want to learn more about it, there's a lot more on our knowledge base, how to use them, how to apply them. But I think what's interesting is in the background, they're working already a little bit. So you just need to start taking advantage of them and open up this kind of other world of possibilities and automation that is available with tags. With that, Stuart, I'll hand off to you. And
Armaan, sorry, we have a question for you.
Please.
The question is it possible to display the tag value on the device kiosk screen?
Tag value, that's a very interesting question. So at the moment, I don't think it is. We could raise a request because I do think it is quite interesting. My only concern would be if there is more than one tag, which tag would be defaulted? For instance, as I mentioned, we have here, like a device can be tagged in more than one place. So it will always have, for instance, the model number, and then it might also have, for instance, Android. So you would have more than one tag. We'd have to look into a situation where you could maybe handle that in a better way. But I think it's a very good point. If you can, I think we'll get your name from our system. We'll reach out and try to understand that use case a little bit more, because theoretically it is possible. We just haven't done it yet. And if we do it, I'd like to hear why you would like to do it, so we implement it in a way that makes the most sense. But wonderful question.
Agreed. I like that. It could become very, very handy for a number of applications I've seen.
Do you have a use case, Stuart, that comes to your mind when you think of it?
I can. In fact, I can think of a couple of them, and it definitely, I'm sure that if it doesn't come from this customer who asked the question, that it should be from one of us anyway. It's really, really good. Perfect. My screen up, Armaan?
Perfect.
Good. All right, super. So thank you. That was yeah, I really liked I liked that a lot. And just thinking of the question, it's added a whole bunch of other possibilities in my mind of how we can take advantage of those tags. So what I was going to share really, and it's quite interesting because it came up actually in a conversation that Armaan and I had a little while ago, was application version management within our App Store. And I know that there's various ways of being able to deploy your own applications in our console, but there's definitely some that I think are perhaps a little easier, and particularly if you are a partner or a customer who has various application updates that take place, and perhaps we're initially deploying through install applications jobs. We definitely think that there would be an interesting way and something new that we have available that we can share and show you. So let me jump into my console quickly and give you an idea. I used our Sure Video application just because it was something that I had easily available and could get some of the historical versions for. But if you have historically deployed an application, let's use Sure Video as I said in this example, through our App Store, our SureMDM App Store, you would have seen the ability to be able to add that new app, upload the APK, link to a web app. There's various options. And ultimately, we do an extraction of what would be the details of this specific application within the environment. So this one 4.72, and potentially within a profile environment, you can link this under the application policies. So as you would have seen, under our application policies, if you decide to be able to add an application, we have the SureMDM App Store available. And you would now see that obviously those that I listed, being Sure Video, was available and the version number displayed, the 4.72. What we were chatting about a little bit earlier this week, and we thought would be really good to show you is the fact that historically, if, as I said, if you were doing this through jobs, you would have probably created multiple jobs with different version numbers and maybe some strange naming conventions. Here, you now have the possibility to be able to go and add a new version directly from the SureMDM App Store. So it's as simple as clicking on the Add New Version. I can browse for my new APK, and I'm going to do it quickly so that we have an example to be able to show you. And obviously, once the file is uploaded, those variables, the version number and some other details, will be automatically populated into the environment that we have. The really nice benefit is that you no longer need to go and make a change to your profile. So applying the profile onto the device or applying a profile onto new devices would obviously immediately deploy your latest version of, in this case, Sure Video. And so in many examples and in many scenarios, and I know Armaan and I, when we were chatting a little bit earlier this week, about how often or how regularly this would be used, I think that it's something that we see just in our day-to-day basis coming up a lot. Armaan, you see it regularly, huh?
Quite often. So the use case that I see is somebody will have a scheduled job or a profile just to make sure that if there's a change in the profile, they have a specific window in which these changes should be applied, so not within working hours. And then it's just a little bit of a hassle to go and make a new profile or to go in, remove an app, add the app again. So simply coming to the App Store, adding a new version, and it's automatically transferred, it saves so much time.
Absolutely. And here we go. Now that the upload's finished, 4.73, obviously, I can add it. You'll see it immediately replaces the version that I originally had. And exactly as we had said a little bit earlier, now the profile is immediately updated and can be deployed, obviously, based on the schedule that Armaan spoke about, or just manually onto a device or a set of devices as you've chosen. So again, something that we think will be really helpful. Perhaps if you have not been using our App Store and have been just using the install application job for the deployment of your applications, this is something that will be well worth having a look at. And then we had promised some updates in terms of the leaderboard for those of you that have been joining more regularly. And for those, hopefully these are names that are those who are joined today. But Michael, Andreas, Marcus, and Jacob on our leaderboard as of now, those are where we stand. Please, for the rest of you, remember attending is another entry into the raffle. And obviously, at the end of the year, we're going to be drawing those raffles, and I believe there's some exciting prizes.
And really quick, just looking at the current leaders, what's interesting is out of the four, only one of them attended today. So if this is your first time joining, you're not that far behind if you're interested in trying to win the prize.
Good. I'm glad you could see. I didn't have a look. And then a reminder, just last point, we have mentioned it on the other series that or the other episodes that we've run, is that there is a dedicated landing page on our 42 Years YouTube channel, and that is specifically for these bits and bolts series. And we've tried to classify them and name them with a simple description that would allow you to be able to go in and watch what we hoped would be a very short, detailed description of a particular function or two. And so please feel free to use that QR code for a direct link, or go and have a look at any of them that you may have missed in the past. And obviously we will continue to do this as we release the future episodes. As always, questions?
Sorry, yes. We have Nico asked 2 questions. So based on what you were presenting earlier, how would you do rollback is one question. Oh, sorry, it's actually the same. How would you do rollback of the application version if something goes wrong?
So, and I'm going to ask Armaan if he's got a different idea. I think from my perspective, I would have updated the App Store after making some testing, or at least having tested on a particular device. I don't know if you would have done it differently, but I at the time that I published an update to my App Store, I would have probably been comfortable that this was going to now be deployed to all of my devices. Would you have done it differently?
I think for me, the question would be a little bit more of like, what would go wrong? So if it's from my experience, usually if it's like an in-house application, as you mentioned, they'll do some tests. But if there's maybe an app that we're pushing, and then we discover later that something went wrong, maybe the app is talking to a server and the back end changed, usually that would require a new version of an app to fix it. But if it's a fix that's been pushed out and the app is already there, sadly, well, if the app doesn't work, it won't update. Like if it crashes, you'll get the red icon and error message. But if it does, there's no way to theoretically take it back. As far as I'm aware, on the Android operating system level, but maybe there's something we're not doing. Currently, you'd have to uninstall the application through a job script or removing it in profile and then apply the last version onto it. So yeah, it's sadly not a clean, like very straightforward approach. But I think based on the use case, if all goes worse and you have to remove the app, it would be a script job or profile to remove it and then to reinstall the last one.
And just back to the App Store, again, remember that you can edit, delete, and recreate. So obviously the concept that we've shown of kind of stepping through the version numbers is perfectly possible to go and change.
I would also say too, just came to my mind on your point, if there's like a correction to a broken app, what might be sorry, maybe a little bit workaroundy, but the easiest way to resolve it that I've seen is to take the last working app, have the developers just update the app version, but not make any changes to it, and then just push that. Yeah. I've seen that done quite a few times.
Easy way of being able to bypass the limitations. Yeah, absolutely. Gabby, was that the only one? Was there another one?
No, actually, it was the same question. So no,
okay. It's just... Perfect. Good. Well, again, any questions you might have, please feel free to reach out to both Armaan and my direct emails are at the bottom. Our partner marketing email and also technical support if need be available, obviously across the various ways of accessing our team are available to you.
Especially with that, with the showing tags on the device in the kiosk mode, because I'd like to learn a little bit more about that, and we'll try to get it implemented.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. Well, thank you so much again, everybody. It was obviously really great being able to share with you again, and we will see you in a couple of weeks.